All right, let's talk about trading. Specifically, let's talk about the real reason most traders fail. And I'll give you a hint. It probably has nothing to do with their charts or their strategy. We're going to get into the inner game of it all. Let's do this.
Okay, think about this for a second. You've got the same strategy, you're looking at the same market, but you get wildly different results. How is that possible? I mean, you could have two people side by side using the exact same system, and one of them makes a profit while the other one just blows up their account. Why? What's the secret ingredient here?
The first place everyone looks is the system. We spend years, right? We're hunting for that holy grail strategy, that perfect combination of indicators that just prints money. We jump from one thing to the next, thinking, oh, this is the one. But here's the thing. The difference isn't the system.
Nope, it's the trader. That's the variable. It all comes down to the person clicking the mouse. It's about your psychology, your discipline. Can you handle yourself when the pressure's on? That is the inner game. And believe me, that's where the real battle is won or lost. And to really understand just how important this is, we've got to look at a number. And honestly, it's a pretty startling one.
80%. Let that sink in. Studies show that a massive 80% of day traders are out of the game within just 2 years. I mean, can you think of any other field where the failure rate is that incredibly high? It's a huge red flag that tells us the way most people approach this is, well, it's just broken.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. Successful investing is not about avoiding losses, it's about surviving them with discipline. See, the way out of that 80% isn't about finding some magical system that never loses. That doesn't exist. It's all about building the mental strength to deal with losses, because trust me, they're going to happen. They're just part of the game.
Okay, so this really brings us to the heart of it all. What's the actual difference between that struggling 80% and the small group that actually makes it? Well, it boils down to two totally different mindsets.
All right, just look at this breakdown. It's like two different worlds, isn't it? The amateur trader is on this emotional roller coaster. They're chasing huge wins, taking massive risks, and the second they have a loss, they ditch their strategy and look for something new. But then you have the professional. They're calm, they manage their emotions, they're not looking for home runs, they're focused on survival, on calculated risk, and they stick with their system, refining it over time. It's a night and day difference.
And this quote just sums it all up perfectly. Amateurs focus on rewards, professionals focus on risk. Think about that. The amateur jumps in thinking, how much money can I make on this? The professional's first thought is, okay, what's my maximum risk here? And can I live with that? That one little shift in perspective, it changes the entire game. So you might be thinking, okay, the professional mindset sounds logical. Why doesn't everyone just do that? Well, here's the crazy part. It's because our own brains are pretty much hardwired to make us fail at this. We're literally fighting against our own psychology. Let me introduce you to what I'd call the #1 account killer. It's called the disposition effect. It's this weird glitch in our brains where the pain of losing $100 feels way worse than the joy of winning $100. And because of that, we do the exact opposite of what we should be doing. We grab tiny little profits because, hey, a win feels good. But when a trade goes against us, we hold on to it for dear life, just hoping and praying it'll come back, all to avoid that feeling of being wrong.
And look, this isn't just some idea. There's hard data to back it up. There was this big study back in '98 by Terence Odian. He looked at thousands of accounts, and the results were just wow. He found that people were nearly 60% more likely to sell a winner than to cut a loser. Isn't that insane? We're literally programmed to do the one thing you're not supposed to do: cut your winners short and let your losers run.
And of course, the disposition effect doesn't show up to the party alone. Oh no, it brings its friends. You've got good old FOMO, the fear of missing out, that makes you chase a move that's already happened. Then there's the fear of being wrong. That's your ego talking, refusing to accept a small loss. And let's not forget the dopamine rush. It's real. People get addicted to the action of trading, not the process. And that just leads to a ton of impulsive, bad decisions. Okay, so how in the world do we fight back against our own brain chemistry? Well, just trying harder isn't going to cut it. Willpower fails under pressure. What you need is a system, a playbook. Let's look at how the pros do it. This is so crucial. The pros build a structure around themselves to protect them from their own worst instincts. Step 1, they have a plan and it is non-negotiable. They know their entries, their exits, everything. Step 2, they know their risk before they even get in the trade. They've already accepted the worst possible outcome. Step 3, they journal everything, not just the numbers, but how they were feeling. This is how you spot your bad habits.
Step 4 is huge. They focus on executing their plan flawlessly, not on being a fortune teller. And finally, step 5, they have a plan for when things go wrong. What do you do during a losing streak? They know the answer before it even starts.
I love this quote from the Navy SEALs. Under pressure, you don't rise to the occasion. You sink to the level of your training. It's so perfect for trading. You don't magically become disciplined when the market is going crazy. Your performance in that moment is a direct result of the work you put in when things require it. That trading plan we just talked about, that's your training.
And this really gets to the core of it all, an idea made famous by trading psychologist Mark Douglas. See, the goal isn't certainty. It's impossible. Amateurs are always looking for a sure thing, but professionals know better. Their job is to find a small statistical edge, just a slight tilt in the probabilities, and then execute their plan over and over and over again, letting that edge work for them over time.
Okay, this brings us to one last really important shift in perspective. If you want to survive this, let alone succeed, you absolutely have to stop treating trading like a hobby.
Just look at the difference here. The hobbyist is in it for the excitement, the thrill. The professional, they've learned to manage boredom because good trading is often repetitive. A hobbyist obsesses over how much they made or lost today. The pro, they care about one thing. Did I follow my plan? The hobbyist thinks being busy means being productive, but the pro knows that sometimes the absolute best trade you can make is no trade at all.
So after everything we've talked about, let me ask you one last question. When you think about all the pieces of the puzzle, the market, the news, your strategy, what is the single most unpredictable variable in the entire equation?
It's you. You're the wild card. You're the one who can throw a great plan out the window because you got scared. You're the one who can let ego take over and double down on a bad trade. The market is just going to do its thing. You are the biggest risk to your own trading account.
Period. And that, right there, is the biggest takeaway. A great trading system, it's not really built to manage the market. It's built to manage you. It's just a set of rules designed to protect you from yourself. So the real question you got to ask yourself is, are you building a system to manage the market, or are you finally building a system to manage yourself?